Hey YouTube, sorry about that. Had some malfunctions. Like I was saying, the Gibson one of one thing, the fit and finish doesn't look like 100% on, but what it does look like to me, and this is what I think is what it is that it's one of the pre-made deals that you can buy where it's just like a kit and you just add the handles to it and you're done. And this guy's added, these handles, which look pretty cool, I've got to admit, to the knife, and then turned around and sold it as like a custom piece or whatever. Now, to each their own. It is one of one, so kind of confirm that type of thing or whatever. I do think he did a fairly good job on it. Hopefully, if he becomes an up and coming maker or modder or that kind of guy, then I can say I've got one of his first pieces. The pictures when I bought it, they didn't really do it justice. They didn't show obviously any of the blemishes or anything like that, but there's one spot I was trying to find. Okay, that might be on another one then. Okay, down here on the bottom, there's some heavy scratches down here on the bottom corner. This wasn't actually sold by him. I think this was sold secondhand. Somebody had bought it from him, so they could have done something different to it as well. If I'm wrong in any manner whatsoever, definitely correct me in the comments, shoot me an email or something like that, because I don't want to not give this guy credit for, doing a pretty good job. So, either way, that is added to the collection. Now here are the Robert Kloss ones. Let me say Robbie Kloss, but I believe it was Robert. Maybe his kid or something, I don't know. These are both locking versions of the juniors, and all of these so far have been the junior size. I'll get to the full sizes here in a little bit, but just for sheer comparison, you can see we're still kind of sticking true to the form of the original case. Sodbuster. This is a yellow locking, and then a black, which are pretty cool in my opinion. I like having a locking blade. I'm definitely I'll leave these out here for a second, but I wanted a good working knife that was a locking blade, and I'm going to show you what I got. There's a separate video out there on this, but this is a GEC, and almost kind of follows the same. This is the number 72. This is a locking number 73. 73 is normally a slip joint type, and the 72 is a locking version of that. And the blade shape, let me get around here. Now this is carbon steel as well, so it's going to rust up on you a little bit. But that's out of their unexcelled line. Definitely cool. Great for utility. This has a little bit more of a point to it, which is one of the reasons. And overall, just beautiful. Came with a lanyard hole in it and everything like that. So definitely a huge fan. And this is what I carry right now instead of one of the Sodbusters. So the majority of the Sodbusters go straight into the collection. This is, in fact, extremely close to the size of a Sodbuster. Let me get those out of here. So size-wise, you're looking essentially the same, really close to the same size. And now where are we at? Okay, now you've already seen these several times, but here's the plain black ones that you can get. Here's just different ones of that. Now this one here is an older plain black one in the Delrin handle, but it's got a carbon steel blade, which is really cool. Extremely old. This is 2137, but no SS afterwards. Definitely been used and sharpened on. I'd love to hear the story of some of these knives here. I'd love to be able to talk to the person that had it and remembered growing up with it, the grandpa that had passed away or the great uncle or whoever, and just see what the story was, see what all this thing's cut. This thing's probably been through the ringers, at least that's what it's looking like, and if I knew half of what it had cut, I probably wouldn't be touching the blade right now. Castrated animals and all kinds of stuff. It reeks of that being on the farm. Very well could have been in somebody's truck door for 5 years and they found it in a dump. I don't know. But either way, really cool. Just would like to see that kind of thing. Now you can see that blade has been worn down quite a bit. So it's definitely cool. Speaking of worn down blades, here's one that I've worn down myself. Changed this more to a drop point, kind of, it's still a drop point, but looks kind of close to a spear point. And the whole little blade etching started getting nasty, so I started kind of wearing it off, but you can see there that even the light steel wool didn't take it off all the way, so you still see it there hanging out. This here I've done some stippling on the handle itself, and I've added a lanyard hole. So you can see before I even knew what these GECs were about, I wanted something with a little bit more grip on my Sodbuster. This was my daily user for a while. Wanted something with a little bit more grip than the standard, and I wanted a little bit pointier tip, just to penetrate, you know, plastic bags and stuff like that, break through tape and boxes and everything like that. This has good belly on the original, but the tip needs a little help. It's kind of hard to get through sometimes. Now, I wish I could say that that is 100% true, but in all actuality, when you get here, and where are we at? On this one, this is the CV steel version Sodbuster Jr. This CV gets so sharp, the penetration's kind of there just because of that. And I don't mean to discredit the sharpness of the regular stainless ones either, because if you don't have one, pick one of these suckers up. I'm promising you the sharpness out of the box will rival that of the majority of your Spydercos and the majority of a lot of the blades that you've got out there. I mean, they do. They're that sharp, you know. Alright, I think we're through. Oh, not all the way. Here's a John Deere that is still in the package. Pretty cool. I like that blade stamp there. I thought about getting another one, just have it open, but when it comes to putting them in a display case or something like that, I'll go ahead and just open this one. My son really likes that one as well, my youngest boy. And this one here is a large one. This is the large Sodbuster. You'll see that now. They're not fitting on the screen quite as well. Battle of Hobkirk's Hill. You see the date there. If you look it up, I don't know if this 076 is actually a serial number or not to those. But if you look this up, there's some decent history. It doesn't seem like that substantial of a battle. I didn't do it. It's in South Carolina. I didn't do, me being in Georgia, I could tell that instantly, but I really haven't done, I've read it, honestly, I have, on Wikipedia. I haven't really committed it to memory. It's one of those things I'm like, cool, you know, it'd be cool to know the history behind that, you know, what this knife is commemorating. I did read it. I'm not up to it, you know, right now, but maybe the next video as we get going, I'll know more date stamps and stuff like that and give you guys a little bit better presentations. This here is still in the original packaging, which is pretty sweet. Now this is the Case Kentucky Bicentennial set, and we've got the stamina wood, and we've got, these originally sold for $42 a piece. I think that's awesome. And right now you're gonna find, you know, any one of these on the bay for about $100, you know. And this is the green, definitely cool. I've got to get these things cleaned up and out of these cases. I really want them out of the cases bad, but I've got to have something good to display them in first, and then I can keep the boxes, you know, keep them climate controlled. This kind of stuff I won't put in the attic because it'll rot it away. But the stamina wood, the stag is beautiful. This thing is excellent. Yeah, look at that. That is nice. I thought about trying to find one of these things just by themselves and buying it just to carry with me because I love the way this looks, and just making this my user. I would hate to tear up that blade stamp, but it'd almost be worth it just for that handle. That thing is insane. I love the way that looks. Completely rustic. Definitely just hardcore. It is a nice fat handle too. And I'm all about giving somebody good handle to work with, but of course, that being said, I like thin handles as well for carrying purposes. So compared to this, which is the thinnest one, but also the strongest darn back spring I've had on a case in a while, this is the carbon fiber. Looks great. Now that we're talking about this carbon fiber, and I didn't mention this earlier, but I will now, this back spring is insane. That sucker's just nice and tight. The deployment is great. I would definitely recommend this one here. I'd like to see it in a CV steel. I'd like to see it with that tang stamp on, I think, or the blade stamp. I think that would be pretty sweet to have on there too. But great knife, definitely check it out. Like I said, the price is up there, about 60 bucks or so. You seem a little higher. This is a good set too. Glad I got it a couple of years ago, and I got it, I guess, before they started going a little crazy, because I got all three for $125. You could probably find a better deal somewhere else, but these had all the boxes, all from one seller, so I just really liked that. Pretty cool to add to the collection. Definitely loving the packaging on this thing. It's pretty cool. There's not too many knives that I have that where I care about the protection, you know, of the packaging as well. So that's pretty cool. As I get going, all of these, I have kept all the all the boxes. I don't know if you can even see that, but this is like a giant popcorn bowl just filled with boxes. I have like 2 or 3 drawstring bags up in the attic full of darn boxes. Now we're going to get to the large ones. I did show you the Hopkirk's Hill one. This here's the Rough Rider, and this is one of the ones I got on some of the questions about. The fit and finish on the Rough Rider knives is really good for what you get. For the materials that you're using, for the price that you're paying, that's what I meant to say. The fit and finish is really good for the price that you're paying on these things. And that being said, the fit and finish is really good for what you're not paying. You're not paying 30 bucks for this knife, but I would say that you probably could and still be happy with the fit and finish on it. And some of them are pretty good. You know, it's kind of like, I would say pretty good up into the Case category. Now, me personally, I love the Case brand, and I would like the Case brand more than this Rough Rider brand no matter what, just because of the history and the stuff associated with the company. But that being said, the fit and finish on some of these knives is really, really nice. Now you can see, these are supposedly 2 different companies. This is an Indian head, and this is a Rough Rider. This jigged red bone is great looking, really nice. And this is smooth. I can't remember what they call it, brown bone or something like that. It's kind of pink, but you can see the obvious resemblances there with the liner locks and stuff like that. And I've got a couple more, as a matter of fact. This is another Rough Rider in the tortoise shell acrylic. Looks great. And just to keep the handle materials in here, I'm using an impromptu tripod, so I apologize. Hadn't found a tripod for my iPhone that isn't retarded looking. These are all pretty cool. All locking, all Rough Rider and or this Indian head one. They're all made in China. But definitely cool little products. Cool to add to the collection, you know. This here, both the jigged bone. Fit and finish is great. These things are about 10 bucks a piece. The steel is sharp. You're looking at probably like a 440A. It just says stainless China. Oh, it does say 440. 440 razor sharp steel. Well, if it was 440C, they'd be bragging about it. They'd be putting that on the blade. They're not, so it's regular 440. So you're probably looking at 440A steel. Nice and cheap, but you know what? It's a good work knife. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? It gets sharp. I can tell because it's sharp right now. I've carried Rough Rider knives before I really got into knives again. You know, I've always collected knives, but I kind of got out of them. And I remember I hadn't had a slip joint in a while that I really carried with me, and I went to the store and bought, you know, I'm like, oh, 15, 20 bucks. God, you got to be kidding me. And it was a Stockman. Didn't have China stamped on it anywhere, but it was a Rough Rider, which was kind of odd because I looked for the China stamp on it. You know, I was just looking around to see it. And it had this abalone handle colors, and there were a Stockman, and it also had a cigar band in the middle, like one of the center band straps or whatever. Looked really cool. Lost it at the beach a while back, and that was before I really got into it, but that was several years ago, guys. I mean, that's been probably 10 years ago now. Oh, God, no, more than that. Sorry, it's been like 15 years ago. My age kind of slipped away from me. I'm not old. Let's go ahead and get that straight. But I'm not as young as I once was either. Great file work on this blade here. Excellent file work. handle, canvas micarta, nice and fat. That's something. I'd take this and carve up a couple of fish with it, you know what I mean? You do have a stainless steel blade. This is a 4138, obviously not going to matter because it's been rehandled, but definitely hardcore usage coming out of this thing. I like having this flat handle right here for a lot of pushing. You can take this and lay it flat down in your palm, and you can push your way through a lot of stuff. It's definitely great. I like it. That's what's being said with the slip joints that have the thicker handles. You know, the thicker handles versus the skinnier handles. That's what's to be said for the thicker handles. Just better, you know, better purchase on the handle, obviously. This here, the Maker, I completely forgot about it. You guys know him, I'm sure. Got this off of eBay. Somebody tossed it in the comments. I really don't remember. I wish I did because this guy's got excellent work, but I'll have to look it up and add it to there. I don't want to give this dude no credit. It's a great job. It's probably my other videos, as a matter of fact. File work's just insane there. So it looked like a complete takedown, which I would have to say, yeah, that'd have to be a complete takedown because he would have hit the brass liners if not. Here is a Boker. Now, real quick, I do want to give you two size comparisons. A full size, and here's my other Boker. This is a full size handle, and that's the Junior. So you can see the size difference there. Sorry, this is not all in frame, but I'm tapping out on my minutes. You see the blades there. And we do have an Imperial in black, made in China, and then the blue work knife, 4138 as well. It's definitely cool. I appreciate you guys coming along with me to look at all these knives. It's been a long 30 minutes. Thanks for listening to my rambling, and I definitely recommend getting a collection started. Run with it. Grab something you like. Let me know you've got the collection video out there. I would definitely like to look at it. I like seeing collections of the same patterns and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys got. I appreciate you watching, and have a good one.